And good evening and welcome on a Thursday night to the Reggie O'Brien Gymnasium on the campus of Wilby High School in the George Torado Court. This is Mitch Beck bringing you all the action this evening on this DET Sports Media production of NVL Boys Varsity High School basketball. Along with Nia DeMichael, we'll be bringing you the Wilby Wildcats taking on the Derby Red Raiders. The Red Raiders coming into the game having lost their first four straight games, and Wilby is entering the game 3-0. So could be a very, very exciting basketball game today as Derby tries to find some traction and move forward. Starting lineups will be coming up for you very shortly. Some interesting news over the week. Giovanni Cruz was named the Republican American Athlete of the Week. Had an extraordinarily strong game. You see him right there practicing his free throw shooting as he gets warm up. Wilby defeated Watertown 66-49. Gio Cruz in that game had 21 points. And in the last game for Derby, they lost 81-56 to St. Paul. In that game, Angel Aviles had 30 points. He will be starting today for the Derby Red Raiders. So we will get the national anthem, the starting lineups coming up for you in just a moment. So we're glad to have you along for the NVL Game of the Week. This is Mitch Beck with you. Stick around for more exciting varsity high school basketball. Here are the starting lineups for the visiting Derby Red Raiders. Angel Aviles is number 2. Jaden Mott is number 11. Kobe Marroquin is number 0. Giovanni Ortiz is number 3. And number 13 is Johnny Barrios. Head coach is Bequan Tate. And for the Wilby Wildcats, we have the starting lineup for you tonight. Number 0 coming up is Aaron James. Number 11 is Junie Giorino. Number 21, of course, we just talked about, is Gio Cruz. Number 23 is Luis Howard. And number 31 is Joseph Nieves. Loud and small but loud crowd here in the Reggie O'Brien Gymnasium. Alan Piccolo is the head coach for the Wilby Wildcats. Tremendous guy. Always super helpful for us. So we'll have the national anthem, and then tip-off is coming up. Stick around.
Whose brush stripes and brown
An outstanding rendition by one of the Wilby students of our beautiful national anthem. Teams are getting themselves hyped up, getting around their coaches, and getting ready for action here on a Thursday night game of the week. This DET Sports Media production of NVL Boys Varsity High School basketball is seen on Waterbury Cable Channel 16 and, of course, on YouTube. We're so glad to have you along tonight. Should be a great game. Derby has struggled. Wilby is a very decent and up-and-coming team. Over the last few years, they've definitely improved greatly. When I first started covering these guys several years ago, they were really kind of a semi-doormat. No longer the case. Much improved team. Luis Howard is going to jump with Jaden Mott. You can see kids have their masks on. And we're underway. Ball is controlled by Wilby. Cruz with a long three to start it off. Gio Cruz starts off with 3 points right out of the get-go. And a jump shot hits the front of the rim. That's Angel Aviles. He definitely likes to fire up shots. There's another three. And here comes Aviles back the other way. Dishes off the glass and in. Bucket goes to Ortiz. Aviles putting pressure on. Cruz now dishes. There's another long three. That's an air ball. And it's rebounded by Mott and given off to Ortiz. Aviles with the ball. He's guarded by Juni Girino. And a turnover. Three to two. We're just underway here in the first. There's another three. That one hits the rim. And rebounded by Wilby. Looking for Cruz. He'll fire up a three. And he buries it. Cruz with 6 points. And Derby looking to bring the ball up. And I don't know how Ortiz got away with a travel on that, but he did. And it's a turnover. Quick pass into the corner. And move back to the top. And we'll get a foul. That's going to be on number 2, Angel Aviles. That'll be his first foul. And he'll pick up a second. He might have to come out of the game picking up 2 quick fouls like that. Cruz inbounds. Girino surrenders the ball over to James. James gave up the dribble, finds Cruz. They move it to the corner. Move in off the glass. Rebounded. And a nice back hard move off the glass. Rebounded again and put aside by Howard. 8 to 2. Aviles now fighting his way through a pick. And it's Ortiz. He and Cruz go man-to-man. And that one's broken. Howard didn't look. He had Cruz all by himself. And they move back into the forecourt. That could have been a double dribble, wasn't called, but there's a nice pass off the glass, rolls over the rim. And Derby with the rebound. Ortiz now takes it to the hole. And we're going to get a blocking foul. That's going to be the first on Nieves. And Ortiz will go to the line. He'll shoot 2. Ortiz is a sophomore. He sets and fires his first one. Gets it off the back of the rim, no good. Has a second one coming his way. It's 8-2, 5 minutes and 12 seconds left here in the first quarter. Ortiz fires up the second, and it is rebounded and turned by Wilby, who comes with some speed into the forecourt. Nice spin move, and that should count. It will. That's going to go against Marroquin. That's his first foul. Heading to the line is Girino, looking to make it a three-point play, and does. 11-2. Derby finding themselves down 9 early. Aviles, again, going a bit out of control, but draws the foul, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. That's going to go on Nieves. That's his second. Coach Alan Piccolo looking down his bench, considering to make a move, and he's going to. Nieves comes out. Into the game comes Coleman. Vilas shoots the second, makes the second, and he's got 2 points. Brought into the forecourt by James. Vilas strips him. Cruz watches him make the bucket off the steal, and it's 11-6. Gio Cruz and Aviles go head-to-head there for a moment. There's a three. That's no good. And Aviles there with the rebound. Brings it up himself. Dishes. There's a long three. Nothing but the bottom of the net for Johnny Berrios, who hits the three. Girino dishes to Cruz. Cruz for a long three. Front rims it. And Aviles gets it. Gets all the way up. Goes off the glass and in for his 6th point. Girino wisely backed off, gave some wise resistance. And there's a turnover again. Aviles pulls up. He pulls up for a three. Hits nothing but the bottom of the net. And just like that, Derby's up 14-11. 9 points coming from Aviles. Cruz somehow gets that one to go. He has 8 points. Battle of the scoring champions here with Aviles and Cruz. Strong move up and over. Rebounded by the Wildcats. Cruz now. He pulls up for a three. That goes off the back of the rim. Ortiz now. Cruz gives some good resistance, causes him to alter and miss his shot. Girino pulls up the jumper, no good. And we'll have an offensive foul on Coleman. That's his first. Girino now showing a little bit of pressure. Cruz right about half court. Just trying to keep the ball out of Aviles' hands as Ortiz brings it into the forecourt. Gets help from a pick, and Cruz picks off the pass. And coming from behind him was Mott, knocked it out of his hands. And back the other way comes Derby. There's another three from the corner, no good. Rebounded by Coleman, dished off to James, who brings it into the forecourt. He goes a bit out of control, and here comes Aviles all by himself. He'll get an easy layup, and up and in, and that one's good. That's 11 points already for Angel Aviles. Timeout called by Alan Piccolo with 2:21 left in the first quarter. Derby erasing a 9-point deficit, basically from Angel Aviles, who's been all over the court. He's been very active, stripping the ball and turning stripped balls into baskets. They erased the 9-point deficit, now have a 2-point lead. Alan Piccolo told me before the game he was a little bit concerned coming into this game that he had a number of his top players not playing. De Jesus is not here, neither is Stewart. And he was very concerned about that before the game. Didn't look like it was going to be a problem for a little while. But Wilby seems to be rushing the ball, taking too many threes without, working the ball down low, seeing if they can get a better shot. And as a result, those errant passes have been picked off mostly by Aviles, who has turned them all into baskets down the other way. So we're back underway. Cruz gives it back to Gerino. Gerino and Aviles match up head-to-head. And another rush shot, just like we talked about. Coming away with it is Aviles. Patience is what this Wilby team is going to need. Passed it to the corner. That deflected by Coleman and picked up by Howard. Gio Cruz into the forecourt. Sees open man down low. Pulls up for a three is Howard, and he buries it. That's his 5th point. Going strong to the hoop. Nice backhand. Up and in. 4th point for Ortiz. Gio Cruz and Ortiz matching up. Ortiz pulls up for a three. Cruz pulls up for a three. It's an air ball. But Wilby maintains control. Passed out to James in the corner. He throws up a three. And hits nothing but the bottom of the net. Coming up on the last minute now of the first. Aviles goes strong to the net. It's rejected by Howard. And that rolls in and out for Coleman. And it's rebounded by Mott. And looking for the last shot of the quarter. Should be Derby taking their time, but nope, they pull up for a three. And it's in. That's all that matters at the end of the. Ortiz with the three. 30 seconds to go. Pass into the corner to Cruz. He pulls up for the jumper and puts it in the bottom of the net. 15 seconds now in the first. And that over and under doesn't work. Ortiz looks like he's hurt. He went down hard to the floor. And they help him up, and there'll be a foul. That's Coleman's second. He'll go and take a seat. Score is tied at 21. And thrown under the hoop. 5 seconds to go. Cruz gets tripped, no call. James throws it up, and it's short. And that'll bring the first quarter to a close. We're even at 21. Excellent first quarter. Derby found themselves down by 9 early, battled back to take a short lead, and now both teams are even as we get ready for the second quarter. Stick around. We are here on the campus of Wilby High School in the Reggie O'Brien Gymnasium, the George Torado Court. Excellent first quarter, both teams registering 21 points. 11 of those points for Derby, coming from the hand of Angel Aviles. Leading scorer Gio Cruz, as you might imagine, has 10 points. Marquin gives it up. Aviles looks for some help. Gives it to Mott. He gets it back down low. Looks to kick it out. Back to Aviles. And he'll reset. Aviles has the ball popped out from beneath him. Girino playing an extraordinarily strong game. Cruz with a long three and buries it. 24-21, Wilby leads. There's a long, wow. I don't even believe that one went in, but it did. That's Aviles with a three. And now James, he thinks three, throws one up, and he puts it to the bottom of the net. Aviles sends it into Berrios, gets it back. Aviles looks to get it down low, finds it, but not able to handle it is Marquin. And Girino now, he soft hands it in for the bucket, 29-24. And now it's Aviles and Derby. Giving up the dribble is Berrios. He has it back, sent it to the corner and back. He's going to think a long bomb and makes it. Wow. Johnny Berrios shooting it from downtown Waterbury, and it goes in. Hard pass, Berrios gets a hand on it. It'll stay with Wilby. Coming back into the game is Nieves. And back in after taking a short breather is Ortiz for Derby. Cruz inbounds. Cruz all alone for a three. And he buries it. He has 16 points. Aviles directing traffic. Ortiz with it now, trying to get free. Gives it up to Mott. Mott puts it in the corner. Sent back to Aviles. Into the corner. Another three. And that one goes off the rim. And they're going to say Cruz stepped on the line. Didn't look like he did. But it'll stay with Derby. Berrios is throwing up some bombs for Derby, and they're going in. Aviles whips one up. Doesn't go anywhere. But Aviles with the quick hands on Gio Cruz. And it hits Berrios and goes out of bounds. Will stay with the Wildcats. 5:18 left in the first half. Girino is going to inbound. Nope, Cruz will now inbound. Set in a box formation is Wilby. That's the move. Nice inbound. James unable to finish. But a good pass from Cruz. Quick pass down low. And Mott gets his first hoop. Terrific assist there by Aviles. And miscommunication there as Girino throws it away. Howard now takes a seat. Into the game is Tyler Padilla, playing center. Berrios sends it into the corner. And a good play there by Girino, sending the ball loose, but Aviles picked it up. Kicked out of bounds. Just a little bit of a wild throw. And Berrios will take a seat. Marquin comes back into the game. And Gerino triggering the offense. Cruz looking to find some space, gets it. He's got Aviles on him. James makes a nice play with the pick. And a good play, and I believe the foul will go on Marquin. That's his second. Heading to the line is Gerino. And he prepares, he throws up the first shot. Gets both sides of the rim, but not the bottom of the net. 32-29. Wilby leads. Gerino looking to extend that lead. Throws up his shot, gets the bottom of the net. He has 6 points. Ortiz now brings it to the half court. Gerino there, he's all over him. Letting him play a bit. And rebounded by Wilby. That was Nieves with the rebound, intercepted by Aviles. He finds Ortiz all the way down the court. His shot goes off, he misses twice, and rebounded by Padilla. Kicked out to Cruz, nice move, back outside. Gerino's shot is no good. Cruz is there first, and a smart play. Here comes Aviles, back the other way. Hesitates a bit. And we're going to get a block. That one was a tough call. I thought James had position. But Aviles is going to go to the line to shoot 2. He has 14 points. Cruz has 16 points for Wilby. It's a 33-29 score with 3:37 left in the first half. Aviles prepares to shoot. He does, and gets the shooter's roll. Taking a seat is Nieves. Coming back into the game is Howard. Aviles now shooting the second. 33-30 is the score. And with some touch, puts it in. And it's 33-31. Put down low. James pulls up for a 3. That one goes in and out. Rebounded nicely by Howard. He's trapped. Kicks it out to Cruz. Thrown down, back down low. Unable to finish was Howard. But it goes off Derby and will stay with the Wilby Wildcats. Gerino looking for an outlet, finds Cruz. Cruz pulls up for the jumper, and he buries it. $18 points here in the first half for Gio Cruz. Aviles ran into a wall there with Padilla. And getting the roll is Gerino. He has 8 points. And going a little crazy, out of control, but drawing a foul is Ortiz. So Ortiz goes to the line. He's got 7 points, misses the first. Prepares for his second shot, sets himself and shoots, and misses. Padilla with his second rebound. Cruz goes right by Aviles, pulls baseline for the jumper, rolls over. Howard gets it, and his shot doesn't go. Mott with the rebound, gives it to Aviles. Gets the ball back, plays a little catch with Ortiz, sends it down low. There's a 3. Nothing but the bottom of the net. Bajorka with a 3. And it's 37-34. 2:14 to go and counting. There's another steal. Ortiz has help. He gives it to Aviles, and Aviles sees his shot knocked out of the way and rejected by Gerino. Great defensive play there by Gerino. Mott will inbound. And Aviles finds himself open. He's trapped with two guys, but manages to get by him and Padilla, and still manages to get the bucket. Great effort. Under 2 minutes to go. James now with it, sends it across the top. And Gio with a long three. That's short. Padilla gives it up to Howard, and Howard puts it away for his 7th point. Just about a minute and a half to go here in the first half. It's been an entertaining game, and a good job by Howard. He outlets to Cruz. Cruz gives it up to James. James with Aviles on him. And that pass for Padilla doesn't go. Padilla will now take a seat. Coming into the game is number 20, Junisbel Luna. Alan Piccolo upset about something. Didn't quite catch what it was. And the referees are discussing it. And the ball is given to Derby. I believe he believed the ball should have stayed with Wilby. He's getting a discussion with the ref. One minute left and a long three. That's no good. Aviles is there. He goes baseline and whips it up and in. Outstanding move by Aviles. 39-38, less than a minute to go here in the first half. James, they should be working for the last shot. There's Howard. James back to Howard. He pulls up for the jumper. It's no good. Mott with the rebound, and he gives it to Aviles with 30 seconds left here in the first half. Outstanding basketball here in the NVL. Thrown up top to Aviles. And a timeout is called. Oh, they're calling, what are they? I guess they called a turnover. I didn't see how. And there's a quick shot. Kicked out to Cruz for a three. That goes in and out. And a turnover with 5 seconds to go. And a nice play. Good play there by Aaron James, knocking it out of bounds as the first half comes to a close. At halftime, we've got a real good barn burner here going. Wilby High School 39 and Derby 38. Stick around. We'll be back for the second half on this DET Sports Media production of NVL Boys Varsity High School Basketball, only on Waterbury Cable 16 and on YouTube. We'll stick around. Welcome back to Wilby High School, the Reggie O'Brien Gymnasium, the George Torado Court. This is Mitch Beck along with Nia DeMichael. We are bringing you exciting DET Sports Media production of NVL Boys Varsity High School Basketball. We've got a good one here. It's Wilby and Derby. Wilby enters the game undefeated. Derby enters the game winless. And we have a 39-38 score at the half with Wilby leading. Here's a quick recap of the scoring. Angel Aviles leads all scorers in this one with 20. Johnny Berrios has 6 points for Derby. Jaden Mott has a deuce. Johanovic, I hope I said that correctly, Ortiz has 7. And Ed Berjoka has 3. And equals the 38 for Derby. For the home Wilby Wildcats, Aaron James has 6 points. Junie Gerino had a good half. He had 8 points. Gio Cruz had 18. And Luis Howard had 7. That adds up to 39. And that's where we stand as the two teams get ready to play the second half of basketball. So glad to have you along for the DET Sports Media Game of the Week for NVL Varsity Boys High School Basketball. Teams will switch ends. And look to see what they can do. Possession arrow favors Derby. All right, and we're underway here in the second half. It's been a good one. Ball worked down to Cruz. Cruz working the baseline, kicks it back out, and swung around. Three-pointer from the corner that goes in and out. Nice job on the rebound. Howard unable to finish, but Gerino came in from the point, made the rebound. Excellent job by him. And there's a three from Berrios. That comes up short. Berrios with a good job recovering, gets it down low to Mott. He goes over on Cruz and puts it in. And Mott gets his second bucket of the game. Berrios went for the steal, didn't get it. Cruz comes up short. Mott rebound and kicks it out to Ortiz. Ortiz gets into the forecourt. Looks to go baseline, does, kicks it out. Berrios for another three. This one he makes. Berrios now with 9 points. Kicked all the way out wide. Thought about it for a second, did Nieves, for the three. Working the ball towards a shot. That one's thrown at the net, and it's not good. That's going to go on Avila's. That's his third. Gerino to the free throw line. He'll shoot two. Be interesting to see if Avilas misses the first one. You could see if Avilas can play with fouls. Head coach Phil Tate does not want to take him out, I'm sure. Best player by far on Derby. And Gerino makes the second. 40-43. It's actually a lead for Derby. Avilas gives it up. Berrios in trouble. Taken away from Howard. Berrios brings it back, goes baseline, kicks it out. There's a three. That one's missed wildly. Howard with the rebound. Ortiz unable to find anything close to the net on that. Nice pass, down low, kick back out, pull up for Cruz. Cruz buries it. That gives him 20. Vilas sends it over to Ortiz right in front of us. Ortiz gives up the dribble, looks for some help. It looks like we're going to get a jump ball, and we do. Marquin gives it. The possession arrow favors Derby, so they will retain possession. And a nice job by Ortiz. Kicks it out to Mott. Mott with a nice spin move. Gives it back. Ortiz does the jump move. Passes it down low. Up and in for Mott. And a good job. 45-42. Visiting Derby with the lead. And the runner goes for Nieves. Gets his first bucket of the game. And looking to trap now to create some offense. And a foul. No foul. They're not going to call the foul. And that's Gerino. Whacked in the face a bit by Ortiz, but there's no call. Ball being inbounded by Wilby. Kicked out to Cruz. He pulls up for a three and gets the rim, but that's it. Mott quickly up and in. Mott with 8 points. And Howard goes, and a bucket will count. That's the 4th foul on Angel Ortiz. He's going to have to come out now. That's his 4th foul. So Vilas will have to take a seat. Coming in is Eddie Berjoka. At the line is Howard, looking to make it a 3-point play and knot the game up again at 47. He shoots and gets nothing but the bottom of the net. Nicely done. And the game is tied at 47. Beyond offense likely and stolen. Coming back the other way, quick glance. And Gerino puts in another bucket. Full court pressure now with Nieves not in the game. And a timeout called. 3-point deficit is now a 2-point advantage for the Wildcats. Key time in this game right now with Angel Aviles in foul trouble. Derby is going to have to find offense elsewhere. $20 points for Angel Aviles, but 4 personal fouls. $20 points also for Gio Cruz. So they've canceled each other out more or less in terms of their impact on the game. The difference, Gio Cruz has no fouls, and Angel Aviles currently has 4. He's going to have to sit probably for the rest of this quarter, at very minimum the rest of this quarter. And Derby looking to inbound and does. Lots going to fall on Ortiz's shoulders now to carry the offense. Digs himself a hole in the corner. And the pressure causes a turnover. And they're going to call a travel. And a turnover. Ortiz trying to do too much. And creating a turnover, giving Wilby the ball. And the runner, Juni Gerino. He is 13 now. Ortiz loses control, and they're going to call a foul. They're going to give it to Gio Cruz, his first of the game. Just the first foul of the second half. 3:51 to go. Ortiz now. He's got Gerino on him. And a good play reading it is Aaron James, but he gets the ball and knocks it out of bounds. Stays with Derby. Mott now. He has Gerino on him. They're trapping on every single play. And Howard takes it away from Mott. Long pass all the way up to Gio Cruz. He makes his way to the basket. Goes up and in. And it's now a 6-point advantage for Wilby. At 3, doesn't go for Marroquin. And there's a 3. It pops over the top and is out of play for Gerino. Berrios now steps out. Aviles is back in the game. He's going to have to play very cautiously. He's got 4 fouls. Marroquin gives it up. Aviles tries to force it down low, and Howard picks it off. He gives it to Nieves, who brings it up the court. Finds Gerino. His three is no good. Howard with the rebound. I think they're gonna call foul. That's gonna go on Perjoka with his second foul of the game. Team's third foul of the second half. Howard gives it up to Cruz. Cruz pulls up a three. He got whacked, no foul. And now we have another foul. That's gonna go on Cruz. That's his second. Oh, excuse me, that's not on Cruz. And he went in the back court. I think they called that one on Pajorka, that last foul. That would give him three. And Derby struggling to get the ball up the court. Vilas now making his way in. He pulls up the jumper and gets it. 4-point lead now with 2:10 to go here in the third. He should be taking the ball right at Avilas since he's in foul trouble. Force him to make a play or get out of the way. And he has to let him go and does. And rebounded by Mott. Avilas stripped and given up to Howard. Avilas smartly lets him go. So on the turnover, another opportunity here for Wilby. Cruz is going to inbound. They run the stack and move down low to Cruz. He pulls up, goes off the glass, and in. 6-point lead again for Wilby. Derby struggling greatly with the trap. Ortiz makes his way down the middle. I think going to get another foul here. We get a travel. .24 points for Gio Cruz. Cruz now making his way down the baseline, pulls up for another jumper, doesn't get the roll this time, and Mott gets the rebound. Decides to bring it up himself, give it to Avilas. Avilas has to be very careful playing with those 4 fouls. And that ball is rejected by Howard. Mott gets it. And that foul is going to go on Nieves. That's his 4th. Going to the free throw line to shoot is Jaden Mott, 10th grader. Pulls up and makes it. That's his 9th point of the game. And misses the second. And it's rebounded by Nieves. Gio Cruz goes in, pulls up. It's short. Howard gets the rebound. His shot's no good. Mott with it now. He's looking for help. Gives it to Ortiz. Ortiz pulls up the jumper at the foul line. Misses. And given up once again to Wilby. Shot for 3 from the top, and it goes. That's the 3rd three-pointer for Aaron James. He has 9 points, and it's an 8-point lead. And another turnover. Gio Cruz for the layup, up and in. 10-point lead now, largest lead of the game now for Wilby. Avilas pulls up for a 3. It's short. 3 seconds to go now. And the bell buzzer sounds. Derby stuck in it pretty good for a while. It was even at halftime. But after 3, Wilby pulls ahead by 10, 60-50. And we will be back for the 4th quarter in just a moment. Welcome back to Wilby High School. Mitch Beck with you. Nia DeMichael is here with me as well, bringing the sights and sounds of this exciting NVL game here at the DAT Sports Media production of all NVL boys varsity high school basketball. Here in Waterbury today we have Wilby High School and Derby. Derby is 0-4, and they dug themselves a hole in the third quarter. Aviles is in foul trouble. He's playing with 4 fouls, and it's all been a matter of the pressure that's been applied. Nice alley-oop, but didn't go. And rebounded by James, who brings it up the court. He looks for help in the corner from Howard, who pulls up for 3. That's an air ball. Rebounded by Perjoka, excuse me. And Mott with it now. Looks to see if he can work it to Aviles. He can't. Kick back to Ortiz. Ortiz going, driving into traffic, gives it up. Mott has it, surrenders it, and a basket for Kobe Marroquin. That's his first of the game. And it's an 8-point lead for Wilby. Kicked out for James. His 3 is no good. Rebounded again by Perjorka. And Avila's playing with 4 fouls, as we've said. He's going one-on-one with Giorino. And another turnover. Giorino comes all the way up the court, goes off the glass. It's short. Howard with it. Gives some help. And Giorino now finds a wide open Howard. He misses it, but then put back in by Jeremiah Coleman. That's his first bucket of the game. 62-52. Aviles now. He loses the ball from behind. And moved up easily off the glass, and in is Giorino for his 14th and 15th points of the game. He has 15 and Cruz has 26. Mott now, he loses the ball. Cruz gives it up to Howard. Howard goes in, he gets the bucket and the foul. And that will go on Pajorka. His 4th foul of the game. .5:43 on the clock. It's a 14-point lead now for Wilby. Remember, coming into the second half, we were tied. And James completes it. That's his 9th point. And a timeout called by Derby, who now finds themselves down by the largest margin of the game, down by 15. This was close for a while, but the overall talent at Wilby shining over the 2 goal scorers, basically, for Derby for the Red Raiders. Angel Aviles, who had to sit for a while because he has 4 fouls, and he's got 22 points. And the other scorer, Jaden Mott, has 9. Johnny Berrios has 9. And Ortiz has 7. Top 3 scorers right now for Derby. Derby in danger of falling to 0-5. And right now, Alan Piccolo's team could go to 5-0. And here's Ortiz getting full court pressure now. Mott finds Aviles. Aviles goes baseline. And that's going to be a foul on number 15, Jeremiah Coleman. That's his 3rd. Aviles going to the line. He hasn't been there in a while. He's going to shoot 2. Misses the first. Takes a few dribbles, spins it, throws up the shot, and buries it for his 23rd point of the game. Baseline, nice move. Nice move, nice shot by Juni Giorino. And another turnover. Giorino gives it up to Howard. Howard makes his way into the key, pulls up, and gets the basket. He has 11. I think they're starting to panic a bit on Derby and forcing things. 71-53. $18-point lead. And the wheels have basically come off of Derby in the second half. Avila's rush shot is rebounded by Howard. He surrenders it to James, who brings it into the forecourt. Cruz all by himself. He'll pull up for three. And buries it. That's his 29th. He's got 29. And it's a 21-point lead for Wilby. And he stepped on the line, I thought. Nope, that foul, there's a foul on James. That's his second. Team's fourth foul. Team foul. Mott inbounding. And that's picked off. Cruz pulls up for another three, and it goes in and out. Howard is there for the rebound, kicks it back out to Cruz, who shoots another three and puts it at the bottom of the net. .32 points for Cruz, and Mott gets the bucket. 4 minutes left, and a 22-point lead. There's a long three. That one doesn't go. Rebounded by Coleman. He loses control and throws it up, and he's fouled. That's his fifth. And he's done for the game. Coming in is Johnny Berrios. And now Howard takes a seat. Coming into the game is Jonas Bell Luna. He and Nieves are probably done for the game. Give some of the bench a chance to play. And that one heads in for Coleman, his third point. .23 lead, 3:54 to go. And he makes the second. Padilla comes in. Coleman takes a seat. Alan Piccolo likely going to empty his bench now. Give the boys that don't get a lot of playing time a chance. With this one pretty much out of reach. And getting the roll is Ortiz. 22-point game now, 3:33 to go. That should have been called a travel, but wasn't. Ortiz now kicks it out to Berrios. He pulls up for the three. Berrios has got some range. He's made 4 threes tonight. 19-point game. Berrios with the steal. Gives it up to Aviles. Aviles' shot misses. And a long pass up to Padilla. Cruz gets it, and he buries it. Cruz is just lighting them up. 35 points now for Gio Cruz. And Padilla with the rebound. And here's Aviles. Gives it up to Ortiz for the layup. Up and in. 34 is the number. 34 points for Cruz in this one. Just over 2 minutes to go. Playing four corners, killing time. And over the top. And they move it around again. Girino sets things up. And he pulls up for the jumper. It's short. And Howard almost picks it off. Vilas gives it up to Mott. And that's a walk. He didn't get called. Poked out to Barrios. He throws up another three. That's no good. And Luna with the rebound gives it to Cruz with just over a minute and a half to go. Should be killing time here. Girino sees some daylight. Goes up and in. $19 for Girino. Cruz has been just unbelievable today. He has 34. And like I said, 19 for Girino. 14 for Aaron James. And 10 for Luis Howard. That's been the domination on that side of the court for Wilby. $23 for Angel Aviles, who has really been stifled here in the second half. Minute 21 to go. 21-point lead. And Aviles picks it up, goes right past us. And he's met there by Girino. Girino's had a very good game defensively. Aviles with the long three, that's short. And Cruz with it. Quickly dumped off and put in by Luna. And I believe we have another timeout. We do. Minute 2 to go. Philquan Tate, the head coach for the Derby Red Raiders, clearly not happy. You can see he's squatted down there just inside the half court. Aviles, long bomb of a three and just barely touches the bottom of the net. And there's a turnover with under a minute to go. Padilla is attacked down low after getting the pass from Joshua Colon. Padilla is going to actually go to the line now. That's the first on Mott. Not that it really matters at this point. 23-point margin. Padilla is going to get a chance to shoot a couple. Misses the first. And Girino is done for the game. Young man had an outstanding game defensively as well as putting in 19 points. Padilla shoots the second, and it goes in and out. Aviles now gives it up to Mott. Mott pulls up for a three. That one misses very wildly. And with it is Nieves. 25 to go. Nieves is not going to want to get a. Did make a good play to get it. Has an opportunity to put the bucket in, and he's fouled. They're going to call the offensive foul, and that'll do it for Nieves. That's his fifth on the offensive foul. So he goes and takes a seat. Coming in to finish this one is going to be Jacob Adorno. Final 17 seconds. Joshua Colon has the ball, takes it from Nieves, And that's picked off by Berrios with under 10 seconds to go. And a very long three, and buries it again. Berrios with 15 points. And that's going to do it. Our final score here today, 85-65. So for Nia DeMichael, this is Mitch Beck saying thank you for joining us from here on the campus of Wilby High School in the Reggie O'Brien Gymnasium and the George Dorado Court for this DET Sports Media production of NVL Boys Varsity High School basketball. For Nia DeMichael and the entire DET Sports Media crew, we want to thank you for joining us tonight. Once again, our final score, it is Wilby 85 and the Derby Red Raiders 65. Thank you for joining us. Good night.